Saying that we are now moving, we are coming to the close of this year, 2020. We are moving to 2021. For you to be able to cut the hay or to make a difference in 2021, it takes preparation. We are going to look at a group of people that had an assignment from God to fulfill their destiny. It is one person in particular that I want us to look at. The book where we are reading today is from the book of Ezra. Ezra was a scribe, which means he was a writer, the writer of the law. Number two, Ezra was a teacher of the law. He was also a priest. Now, Ezra received an assignment from God. But when you read from chapter 1 to before you get to chapter 7, where Ezra is being called by God to go and fulfill an assignment, the assignment that Ezra had was to teach the people the law of God. We know that before verse 7, we discover that the structures in Jerusalem were destroyed. The temple in particular was affected. The place of worship was affected. So the first thing that started was a rebuilding of this temple. And they built the walls, built everything. After rebuilding all the structures, they then sent for Ezra, who was at this time in Babylon, to come to Jerusalem in order to teach the people of God their worship, to teach them about their God, to teach them the word of God. What I like about Ezra is found in verse 10 of chapter 7. Verse 10 says, "For Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord and to do it." You know, many people embark on an assignment without preparation. His way of preparation was, number one, to seek the law of the Lord. He had to study. He had to prepare himself so that when he starts teaching these people, he teaches them something that is well prepared. So the first thing that Ezra did was to prepare his heart. I don't know what is your assignment as you enter 2021. But for you to be able to do it efficiently and to succeed in what you are doing, you need to prepare. Every area of our lives, wherever we are assigned, there must be proper preparation before we engaged on the assignment that is given to us. So we see Ezra, first thing, seeking the face of the law. Now, this was not just studying the law. It was beyond studying the law. He sought the law. In other words, he had to become part and parcel of what he was going to transmit to other people. He had to be one with the law. He had to understand, correct his ways according to the law before he stood up to teach the law. Now, this discipline of preparation has actually disappeared nowadays. People don't prepare themselves properly, and yet they expect applause of what they have done and yet there was poor preparation. Poor preparation suggests poor performance. We cannot perform in this new normal that we are getting into unless we have taken time to prepare ourselves. One thing about preparation is that you have to do an introspection. How have I fared in the time past? Now, how can I do what I'm doing better? How can I better acquaint myself with my assignment? Those are the important things that need to take place. As you enter in this year, I need you to understand that God is on your side and God wants you to succeed and God believes in you and God counts on you. We are coming to a time. You see, life is always unfair, but it is the prepared that are able to navigate their way through difficult terrains. As we enter into the new normal, we are not suggesting that things will be easy, but we know that God is with us and God is our help and God will assist us and that God is willing to help us. We have a good example of the children of Israel. They enjoyed the help of God. They enjoyed the kindness of God. So now God, at this particular time, God has helped Israel through the leadership of Nehemiah to rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. Everything is in place. And what was short was to re-educate and remind the children of Israel of their way of living, of the laws of God, how to worship God, because they were coming from Persia, in a place where the God of Israel was not necessarily worshipped. They individually worshipped God, but as a country together as Jews, they had been longing to come back to Jerusalem and worship their God in their own land. Now that opportunity has opened, but God realized that they will not be properly restored to their worship of their God unless a teacher comes to remind them, to take them through the laws and remind them the law of God so that they may worship God properly. But the key thing that we see here was that there was a preparation of heart. You know, a willing heart, when somebody has a heart that is prepared, they are able to pass through any terrain and get on the other side because the heart is determined. The heart wants the assignment to be accomplished. So, this man prepared his heart to seek the law of the Lord and to do it. It's one thing to seek and to teach, and yet there is no practice. As you prepare yourself, be ready to do what it takes for things to work. Do what you are supposed to do. Prepare yourself, understand your assignment, understand what is required for you to do, but be ready to put your weight behind it and do it. Because God blesses the works of our hands. As we work, as we prepare, and as we work and as we do it, we will see God do great things for us because we're prepared. So we see that the preparation was to understand the law, become one with the law, and do the law. and to teach in Israel the statutes and the judgments. He was prepared to teach. I want you to notice, he first acquainted himself with the law. Secondly, did the law. Thirdly, teach the law. You know, there is a difference when you teach what you practice. Let us move from just merely acquainting ourselves with the law. Let's move to a stage where we do the law. We practice the law, because that is in the interest of God. Now, there was another level of preparation that Ezra begins to show us. You know, he first prepared his heart. You know, you may understand your assignment, understand what you're supposed to do, understand what it will take for you to do. But if it is not in your heart, you are not prepared in your heart, you might as well sit home and sleep, because your heart is not there. So the first preparation that we see of Ezra, it was the preparation of the heart. You know, when the heart is prepared, when there is a resolve in your life because of the preparedness of your heart, you can jump through hoops and jump through mountains to make sure that your assignment is fulfilled. Now, there is another thing that Ezra understood about this issue of preparation. His heart was ready. He acquainted himself with the law. He practiced the law and then taught the law, the statutes of God and the judgment of God. But there's another thing that we see here in chapter 8 of the book of Ezra, verse 21. Now Ezra realized that the task that I'm about to embark on, it's not an easy task. As part of my preparation, I will not only prepare my heart to be acquainted with the law. I will not prepare my heart for doing the law. I will not only prepare my heart for teaching the law. The other important thing is that I must seek the Lord. Because you heard, we were talking about seeking the law of the Lord. Now, Ezra say another preparation. Don't just seek the law of God. Don't just prepare your heart to seek the law of God, to do it and to teach it. But the other important thing that you are supposed to do is to pray to the God of the law. Now, verse 21 of chapter 8. Ezra proclaims a fast. For you to get the background of what was happening, there were some priests that had to go with Ezra back to Jerusalem from Persia to go and help Ezra as he was teaching the laws of God. You know, in a Jewish temple or in a Jewish tabernacle, there are so many sacrifices and things that are done in the temple as a way of worshiping God in the Jewish temple. So the job or the work that was given to Ezra was bigger than Ezra. He could not do it on his own. So he's taking a group of people. They are supposed to cross over and go to Jerusalem to prepare worship, to teach the people how to practice worship. So one of the things that Ezra did was to proclaim a fast. Why should you proclaim a fast? A fast, particularly fasting and praying, suggests that, or you are declaring publicly that I cannot do this assignment with my own power. I need the power of God. I need the strength of God. I need God to be present. I need God to be with me. I need God to stand on my side. Therefore, I will fast food and fast other things. Meanwhile, I'll be seeking the Lord. So it's prayer and fasting. He's telling the group that he's traveling with, he says, people, let us fast. But let's hear what he is saying about this fasting. Then I proclaimed a fast there at the river Havana, that we might afflict ourselves before our God, to seek of him the right way for us and for our little ones and for all our substance. Now, he is saying this, when you afflict yourself, it means that you are depriving yourself of certain privileges so that you can use the time that you could have used for that to seek the Lord. So he said, we afflicted our souls in order to seek a right way or a right passage. One, he realized that they will need God in their journey. And they will also need God in their assignment. So he says, gentlemen, for us to get that power, let us take time and begin to talk to God. In fact, it was ladies and gentlemen, because they had their wives, they had their children there. So, Ezra, I think he has already started, teaching them here. He is saying, look, guys, we cannot make it on our own. We need God. We don't need to go to the king to ask for soldiers and horsemen to accompany us. In other words, he is declaring that God was his shield. God was their strong tower. That God was their fortress. So, if God didn't help them in this journey, they were going to be the food, or they were going to be prey to their enemies. So, for them to be protected, to find the right way, and to have clear passage, and to have protection, he realized that they needed the help of God. The king, Artaxerxes, was very gracious to the Jews. He helped them with the timber, he helped them with the material to rebuild Jerusalem. Now, I think as normal human being, if somebody has been too gracious to you, even if there's still some other things that you need, you are usually afraid to tell them that now I need this. So now they knew that the one that doesn't get tired of being asked, the one whose pocket is deep enough to help you, was God. So Ezra is saying, let us fast. As we enter this year, as we come to 2021, let us take some time. Let us afflict our souls so that we can seek a clear passage for us, for our children, and our substance. In other words, for God to protect, not only to order our steps, because he's talking about the right way here, for God to order our steps, to order us in the right path, and also to help protect our families and also protect our substance, the things that we have worked for. Because it's a painful thing to work very hard and suddenly the things that you've worked for years are either destroyed or stolen. It is very important then to pray and ask God. Not only should we prepare ourselves for our assignment, but we should pray for strength, for protection from God. That whatever we have done will be able to be sustained, because from the beginning we asked God. Understand that at this time Ezra is talking with these people en route, or on their way to Jerusalem. And he is preparing them, he is telling them that for us to be able to make it to Jerusalem, we need God. For our children to be protected, we need God. How many people have prepared? That before, they prepared very well. They wrote down the goals. They put everything in place. They had timelines. They had everything very specific. But suddenly, as they are moving towards their assignment or engaging in their assignment, suddenly certain things are lost. And these losses become distractions to what you want to do, to what you want to accomplish. Distractions can come by loss of family members, by loss of property, by sudden attacks by the enemy, sudden attacks by hooligans and everything wanting to take what you have worked for. And you discover that when those things happen, they distract you from fulfilling your assignment. So Ezra is saying, let us fast and pray in order to scatter the plan of the enemy, to frustrate the plans of the enemy against our assignment. Our hearts are ready. We are ready to do the law of God. We are ready to perform our assignments. But understand this one thing. You could be all prepared and your heart can be prepared, but along the way you find that there is distraction to derail you from your assignment. So that can only be corrected by fasting and by prayer and having faith in God that He will help you in whatever assignment you have embarked on. It is very important to understand that the prayer and fasting factor is very crucial. It's something that you can't do on your own. Yes, in every area you need God. But you may find that your heart is in the right place. You are well prepared. You have done everything that is necessary for you to succeed in your assignment. But the God factor, that fasting, that prayer, unless you come before God and ask Him for clear passage, you will not succeed. Seek Him for a right way for us and for our little and for our little ones and for our substance. So that is what he's saying. So he then begins to say in verse 22, I was ashamed to require or to ask the king for people to protect us along the way. That is why I'm calling this fast. We cannot succeed on our own. We need help. But now, let's ask for help from God. So they fasted and besought God for this. And he was entreated. In other words, God answered them. God heard them. God listened to them and paid attention to them. And God made it happen for them. Because you may find all of us are really prepared in our hearts. We have done all it takes. Everything is written down. And come 2021, we are ready to move. But do you understand that you can put your vision down, write your goals down, put everything in place, but only to discover that it is not succeeding because there have been distractions. To avoid the distractions, let us fast. Let us afflict ourselves, our souls, so that we can seek the face of the Lord, for God to intervene, and for God to clear the way, and for God to order our steps. You know, it's like in life, as you move forward, there are landmines. Now, it's like there must be an intelligence before you that will know or pick those landmines before you walk there. And there is nobody who knows better than God. God has an army of intelligence. God has angels that encamp around you, that go ahead of you, so that in your way you may have success. Because the habitation of man is full of cruelty. Life has never been fair. It's only by the grace of God that you are able to press through and go ahead. Because some of us, we can take the word that Ezra prepared his heart to seek, to do, and to teach. But he also prepared himself through prayer and fasting. It's like, from what Ezra is saying here, prayer and fasting keeps the enemy at bay. You pray, you fast before you embark on your assignment. You prepare your heart. Number two, you pray and fast and ask for the help of God. So Ezra is suggesting that we need to be diligent in preparing for what we're supposed to do. But we must be of understanding that without God, even what we have prepared to build, we have all the material and everything there, the enemy can come in and disrupt what we are doing by harming us or by stealing what belongs to us. So in order to stop that, we need to fast and we need to pray. That's why Ezra says, proclaim the fast. There, when they were in that river, on the crossroads, a river suggests a place that you need to cross. These people were supposed to cross over to Jerusalem. You are supposed to cross over to the new year, 2021. Are you prepared in your heart? Take this time, fast, and pray. May God bless you. Thank you.